Okay, good morning. For the record, I'm Chris Young, Chair of the HTC's Sign Advisory Committee. Let's confirm access. Members, please respond with an aye. We have Ben Normand.
Aye.
Paul Wolf.
Aye.
And we have Nikki Sheriff for staff.
Here.
Great. This open meeting of the HTC's SAC is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020. That order, posted with the agenda materials for this meeting, allow public bodies to convene remotely so long as public access to deliberations is reasonably provided. This meeting is convening via Zoom with video and audio recording available on the town's YouTube channel. We will feature public comment. Materials provided to members for the meeting or provided during the meeting are, unless otherwise noted, available on the town's website. During the meeting, I'll introduce agenda topics and speakers. Please remember to mute your Zoom audio until your name is called, and direct comments and questions through the chair to avoid crosstalk and the taking of minutes easier. We will conduct votes by roll call, and let's call the meeting to order at 9:03 on July 23rd, 2024. Do we have a motion to approve our agenda?
Move.
Anybody seconding?
I'll second that.
Thanks. Paul, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Ben?
Aye.
Okay, I am as well. Thank you, guys. We do not have minutes to review, so we will move on to public comments. Is anybody online to make a comment not related to an application? Seeing none, we'll move on to commissioner comments. Are there any comments from commissioners that you'd like to make?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to discuss this list that was sent to us, but we can do it at the end of the meeting, I believe.
Yes, let's do that under the enforcement section. And I apologize, my camera, for some reason, I'm on my phone and it's not allowing access to Zoom. So I apologize that I'm a blank screen today. Let's move on to new business. Tucker, you're on the line representing the applications for land bank signage, correct?
That's correct.
Thanks. So go ahead and these were given approval at the HTC, or was it were they held for any further discussion?
They were approved in accordance with the sign committee's recommendation.
Okay, and so you're back to make a revision to the approval.
Yeah, and Eli apologizes for not being able to be here this morning. He is at work, but he asked if I might represent him here. And we're hoping it's a relatively straightforward request, but the board may recall at their prior meeting where they gave approval to this project. I think it was Mr. Coutone had introduced a height limitation of 36 inches for the sign and in the various locations. And so we had actually gone out in the field subsequently to kind of check what existing signage sits at. And given that this is like a public information sign, it contains fishing regulations, it was felt that it may be more useful to the public to be at a slightly higher level. And we understand from information that Nikki provided, which we appreciated, that the regulations basically limit public information signs at the 48-inch level, whereas the approval that came before was at 36 inches. So we're simply hoping that the board might revise its approval to allow up to that 48-inch published limit. And we think this may be more useful, for fishermen who are accessing at these various locations. Eli had a chance to speak with folks at the land bank about this, and they concur. Again, we did do some measuring of signs that are already in the field and of a similar nature, and a number of them sit at at that level, if not higher, actually, than the 48 inches. So that is the basic request today. I did also want to address, because I believe Mr. Wolf in the last session had asked Eli a question about, are any of these signs visible from a public right of way? And I'm not sure if Eli totally understood the question when it was asked, but one of these locations, they are visible, which is at the Long Pond location, not here at the bridge or the dock that we just were looking at, but here, actually, the photo Nikki has up. Those are situated roughly, I'm going to say 15 yards off of the bike path and the Mattocket Road. And so from a distance, current signage and obviously what Eli is proposing would be visible from a public right of way. And we just wanted to, come back and address that question that Mr. Wolf had asked.
Okay, thanks. Let's start with Paul and then go to Ben for any questions or comments.
I really don't have any. There's a standard thing about what's visible from a public road or a public way. I'm not sure all these former signs were approved or not, but I don't have a problem with it. It was just a question. I was more curious than anything else.
So the application today is to raise the height from 36 to 48. Are you okay with that, Paul? Any comments on that?
I don't think it's necessary, to be honest with you, because I suspect if you can't read them from 15 feet away, I would guess. So you'd have to go up fairly close to it to read it. I don't think the height difference makes it any easier. So I don't think it's necessary, but I wouldn't be opposed to it, raising it higher to meet the 48.
Okay, thanks, Ben.
I'm just so unfamiliar with the ins and outs of this. I'm going to defer to you, both you two, and follow your lead on this one. So unfortunately.
All right, so this is sort of a new application in the sense that it's a revision to an approval, so you can, but the background on it is these are fishing regulations relative to the ponds that Eli was putting up so that people would be aware of the changing regulations via the QR code. I don't know.
Are they replacing those yellow ones that we saw in those pictures?
I don't believe so, right, Tucker? These are going to be new signs.
So in combination with those other ones.
Right.
That is correct.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay.
They were approved with 36-inch height. I don't have a problem with 48. I can understand being tall myself. I can understand and the guidelines allow for the 48. So
yep.
I would not have a problem with it. So
I'll move that we approve the change.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Paul. You're in favor?
Aye.
And Ben?
Aye.
Okay, I am as well. Technically, we're looking at 6 applications on the agenda. Can we just make one more motion that says that approval is for all 6?
So move.
Second.
All right, Paul?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Okay, I am as well. Okay. Tucker, thank you.
Well, yes, on behalf of Eli, thank you all very much for your support of this project. He really appreciates it. And I think this will make it even more useful to the community. So thanks so much.
Thank you. Tell Eli, good job.
Will do.
Okay. And the next item on the agenda is kind of come and gone. This was for the J. Crew temporary signage, which actually the event already happened, and unfortunately they actually put the signage up, used it. I think they received the violation notice and we received a response. So Nikki, why don't I'll turn that over to you to fill us in a little bit on
okay.
what you know about this.
Yeah, so the event was last week. There were helpful revisions at our last meeting. And then I was, we were all aware of the time frame that they were planning to hold the event. So I just did a drive-by just to see if they would have still placed the sign up, and they did. So I issued a violation letter to the property owner, who has since responded to me via email, myself and Holly, expressing that they were not aware that they did not get approval. And going forward, they'll be having each participant provide proof and documentation from the HDC and the Sign Advisory Council that they have indeed been approved. They're happy to pay any fines. And, they were very sorry about what happened. And they, expressed to me that they're not trying to violate anything. They want to follow the rules. They want to follow the guidelines, and they just weren't aware that they did not get approval.
Okay, well, thank you. And that's a good thing long term. It's a shame that it went up, but it was for a few days, and long term, it sounds like we've got their attention. So hopefully and if they do follow through and actually make sure that future short-term tenants can provide that evidence to them, then that's probably a good thing for all of us. So I think we should just, to get this off the agenda, why don't we just vote to deny it officially? Well, I'd like to suggest that motion so that we can put it to bed. Okay, Paul?
Aye.
Ben?
All right.
Okay. I agree. So we can at least close the book on that one. So
Okay.
thanks, Nikki. And just so that we're all aware, the next applicant for that received approval, correct, to use the sort of planter sign?
Yes.
Right.
Well, it's not on the agenda, but I'll just say quickly. So they did receive approval with the condition that it's placed in the left planter. She was supposed to submit supplemental information so that I can have that on record for the file. I reached out to her last week. I still haven't received anything. So I'll be keeping a close tab on that. I'll probably do a drive-by later this week just to see if she did follow the condition.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's move over to enforcement. So thank you for sending that spreadsheet. Paul, do you want to ask your question? Well, Nikki, why don't you just give us any update you have, and then we'll let Paul and Ben.
That's
Fine.
pretty much whatever was on the spreadsheet. That's pretty much what I have so far. Usually once I issue, if it's a courtesy letter or violation notice, I'll do a drive-by again just to see if they did remove the sign. The two participants, when I did the drive-by, I think Black Eyed Susans, they did remove the chalkboard sign. And then I went back down to the t-shirt store. They did remove the window signs when I did the drive-by. If they did put it back up for whatever reason, I'll have to issue another notice and they'll be fined. But based on when I went back to check to see if they did remove the signs, they did. But you could go ahead, Paul, if you have any questions.
On the form, the first column says resolved. Does that mean that a notice was sent out to the violator, or that the violation has been removed?
No. The notice was sent out and they have removed the signs.
Both?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm surprised there were only 6 items on this list. I suspect since January, we've sent in more than those. But I know there was some confusion there for a while about what the procedure was, but as soon as you get something, it goes on this list. Is that correct?
Yes, as soon as I get something, it goes on the list. Depending on who sends me, like usually persons will send me pictures. Like I got a call the other day about a particular sign, but when I went to check the system, that sign was actually already approved. So the public is welcome to email me as well. And then for the council members, we just ask that you send any violation or request to the chair, and then he'll send it to myself and Leslie.
Okay.
Yeah, I will forward them as quickly as I can, so you guys know. And it's interesting just to note, I'm glad to see there's tabs at the bottom so we can actually go back and see sort of previous years as well. That's
Yes,
nice just
I
to,
have all the way back to 2017.
yeah, that's helpful. And there are, I do feel like there are a lot of sandwich boards in particular that have popped up this year. So I think if board members want to, if they see anything like that, anything that you see, send to me and I'll forward it. And I also noticed, speaking of the land bank, they have sort of a freestanding banner sign over by the new Creeks Reserve Park, which I think we should address. So I'll send you an email on that,
Okay.
Nikki. But yeah, thank you it's nice to see that this is back in motion. So hopefully we can
Doing what I
yeah,
can.
checking
Yeah.
that first one. That's the key.
It'll be better if I could, I'll be in the field all day driving around, but it's just not feasible because I wear many hats, as probably Ben's aware. So it wouldn't be feasible for me to do that. But as soon as I get them, I do try to do the drive-by, take pictures, and then issue the notice.
Thank you for
Good.
that.
Right.
Ben, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I'm, I see so many signs that I know are not approved and I can't wait to fire them over to you, Chris.
Great.
Now I know what to do. I've been kind of sitting on my hands wondering what I'm supposed to do about these violations. So,
All right. Well,
yeah, it's a good time to clean up shop, even though it's in the middle of the season, but it's still a good time to clean up.
okay, great. Plenty of available space in my inbox. So, and all right. Any other questions, comments, concerns, motions?
Motion to adjourn, I guess.
Second,
All right. Ben, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Paul?
aye.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye,
Thanks, everybody.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye.